This is why you can meet someone stable and feel nothing. Not because they're not good, because your brain is addicted to activation. And activation feels like life when you've been numb. But alive is not the same as safe. Alive is not the same as real. Alive is not the same as love. Now let's widen the lens. Intermittent reinforcement is everywhere. Social media trains you with random validation. Sometimes your post blows up, sometimes it dies, so you post again. Games train you with random rewards. Sometimes you get the rare drop, sometimes you grind for hours, so you keep playing. Work trains you with random praise. Sometimes your boss notices, sometimes they ignore you, so you work harder. The modern world is a reinforcement machine. So when a human becomes your reward, the training becomes personal. It becomes intimate. It becomes dangerous. Because now, the slot machine has a voice you love. And sometimes, the person isn't even doing it intentionally. Sometimes they're avoidant. They crave closeness and fear it. They pull away when things become real. They return when they feel you slipping. They give you just enough to keep you connected. That's the cruelest version, because you can't hate them cleanly. They look confused. They look human. They look like they mean well. So you keep giving chances. Intermittent reinforcement loves chances. Every chance is another lever pull. So what do you do with this truth? Not advice, just an observation. The moment you can name a pattern, it stops being magic. And intermittent reinforcement survives on magic. It wants you to believe it's fate, it's intense, it's complicated. We have something special. But sometimes, special is just randomness. Sometimes, complicated is just inconsistency. Sometimes, intense is just your nervous system reacting to uncertainty. A slot machine doesn't love you. It just knows how to keep you pulling. Some people, intentionally or not, become the same, and your brain does the rest. Because the brain doesn't get addicted to pleasure, it gets addicted to maybe. Maybe is a cage with soft walls. It doesn't feel like a cage. It feels like hope. Hope is warm. Hope is comforting. Hope is addictive. But hope without consistency becomes torture. So tonight, if silence is screaming, don't treat the scream like a sign. Treat it like withdrawal. Because sometimes the hardest mystery isn't why they disappear, it's why your mind still waits. And the answer is not romantic. It's psychological. It's a schedule. A random schedule of rewards. And once you see the schedule, the spell breaks. What's left is the truth. A person, or a machine, that pays out kindness just often enough to keep you coming back. The case timeline. How the obsession builds. Most people think obsession happens because someone is amazing. But obsession often happens because someone is inconsistent. So let's lay it out like a timeline. Day 1. They appear. Not casually, perfectly. A message that feels like it was written for your exact insecurity. A compliment that lands exactly where you're vulnerable. A laugh that makes you feel understood. Your brain doesn't say, "This is nice." Your brain says, "This is rare." Day 2. They're still warm. You start relaxing into it. You start imagining a future, because humans don't just feel love, humans build stories. Day 3. They pull away. Not dramatically, quietly. A slower reply, a shorter sentence, a busy excuse, a change in tone. And because you don't want to look needy, you pretend not to notice. But you notice. Your body notices. Day 4. Silence. This is where the trap begins, because silence creates a vacuum, and the mind hates vacuums. It fills them with meaning. So you start explaining their silence in a way that protects your hope. They're stressed. They have issues. They're not good at texting. They're just busy. Notice what your mind never says. They don't care. Because if you accept they don't care, the story ends. And your brain is not ready for the ending. Day 5. A tiny crumb. Not a real conversation, not accountability. Just enough to keep the line alive. "Hey, sorry, been busy." And the moment you see it, your anxiety drops. Your mind goes quiet for a second. Relief. Your brain records relief like a drug. Day 6. You reply faster than you want to. You tell yourself you won't, but your fingers do it anyway. Because your brain thinks responding quickly increases the chance of reward. Day 7. They disappear again. And now the silence feels worse, because you've already tasted relief. That's how addiction works. The second withdrawal is worse than the first, because now your body knows what relief feels like. Week 2. Your identity starts shifting. You stop living in your day. You start living in their schedule. You check your phone in the bathroom. You check your phone in meetings. You check your phone while eating. You check your phone while talking to people you love. You check your phone after telling yourself you won't check. And each time you check, you are not just looking for a message. You're looking for safety. Week 3. You start lowering your standards without realizing it. A good morning becomes a miracle. A reply becomes proof. A short apology becomes closure. A tiny compliment becomes a reason to stay. Because your brain has been trained to celebrate crumbs. Week 4. You start defending them. Friends ask, "Why are you still there?" You say, "It's complicated." You say, "You don't understand them." You say, "They're not always like this." You protect the pattern, because the pattern still promises a payout. And somewhere in this timeline, without a ceremony, without a warning, you stop choosing them. You start needing them. That's the moment obsession becomes a cage. Micro rewards, the small things that become huge. Intermittent reinforcement doesn't always use big payouts. It often uses tiny ones. A story view, a like on an old photo, a reaction emoji, a quick lol, a voice note, a typing bubble that appears and disappears, a message that starts warm and ends cold. A random compliment after days of distance. These micro-rewards are deadly because they are ambiguous. They can be interpreted as care. And ambiguity is the perfect food for obsession. Because if it's not clear, your mind can keep guessing. Guessing keeps you connected. Guessing keeps you chasing. Guessing keeps you awake at night. Ambiguity is the fuel. Why the typing bubble feels like a heartbeat. There's a moment that almost everyone recognizes. You see typing and your brain surges. For a second, you feel chosen. For a second, the possibility of relief becomes real. Then the typing stops. No message. And your body experiences a tiny heartbreak, a micro withdrawal. So you stare at the screen. You wait. You refresh. You become silent with your whole body. Because that little bubble didn't mean a message, it meant possibility. And possibility is the drug. Prediction error. Why surprise rewards hit harder. Your brain doesn't just react to rewards, it reacts to surprises. A predictable reward feels smaller because your brain expected it. An unexpected reward feels bigger because your brain didn't. That difference between expectation and outcome is what makes the hit powerful. It's like the brain saying, "Something unexpected happened. Pay attention." So when they disappear and then suddenly return with warmth, your brain treats it like a major event. Even if the warmth is small, the surprise makes it feel huge. This is why inconsistent people create stronger cravings. They create bigger surprises. And bigger surprises create bigger dopamine spikes. The silent treatment effect. Sometimes the distance isn't random. Sometimes it's a weapon. Silence becomes punishment. Silence becomes control. Silence becomes a way to make you anxious enough to accept less. And the worst part is, even if you know it's happening, your body still reacts. Because knowing something intellectually doesn't turn off the nervous system. So you can say, "This is toxic," and still check your phone. Because your body is not convinced by your words. Your body is convinced by relief. Attachment. Why some people fall harder. Not everyone gets trapped equally. Some people can feel the inconsistency and detach. Others become glued to it. Often, the difference is attachment. If your nervous system is already sensitive to abandonment, if you felt unpredictability before, then inconsistency hits harder. Your brain doesn't treat their silence as a delay, it treats it as danger. So you chase faster, you panic harder, you bargain more. And the pattern tightens. Intermittent reinforcement doesn't create your vulnerability, it exploits it. Trauma bonding versus intermittent reinforcement. People confuse these terms, but they overlap. Trauma bonding is when cycles of pain and relief create attachment. Intermittent reinforcement is the reward schedule that makes the cycle addictive. Pain, then relief. Distance, then warmth. Fear, then comfort. Relief after fear is powerful. Warmth after cold is powerful. Attention after silence is powerful. That's why the bond feels deep. Not because it's deep, because it's intense. And intensity is not the same as intimacy. The shame layer. Why you hide it. Another reason the trap lasts so long is shame. You're embarrassed that you care. You're embarrassed that you're waiting. You're embarrassed that you're checking. You're embarrassed that a single message can change your whole mood. So you hide it. And hiding it makes it worse. Because shame isolates you. And isolation makes your brain cling harder to the only source of relief it recognizes. So the pattern feeds itself. You feel ashamed, you isolate. You isolate, you crave. You crave, you check. You check, you reinforce the habit. You reinforce the habit, you become more obsessed. You become more obsessed, you feel more ashamed. A perfect loop. The narrowing. Why life starts feeling small. Intermittent reinforcement narrows your world. You stop enjoying things fully because your mind keeps returning to one question. Will they come back? Movies become background noise. Food loses taste. Conversations feel distant. Music becomes a trigger. Even happiness becomes suspicious, because your brain is scanning for the next payout. So your world shrinks to a single point, their attention. And when your world becomes that small, silence feels like death. The one more time illusion. The most dangerous thought in this pattern is simple. One more time. One more check. One more message. One more chance. One more conversation. One more apology. One more night. Because intermittent reinforcement trains you to believe the payout is always just around the corner. And that belief is almost impossible to kill, because it has been true before. They did come back before. They did say something sweet before. They did make you feel safe before. So your brain keeps gambling with your life. Not with money, with your sleep, with your dignity, with your peace. The two faces. Why you can't hate them cleanly. If they were purely cruel, you could detach. If they were purely loving, you could trust. But they have two faces. Face one, warm, attentive, charming, the person you fell for. Face two, cold, distant, unpredictable, the person who disappears. Intermittent reinforcement makes you chase face one while tolerating face two. And because face one feels like a reward, your brain treats it like the real person. So you keep saying, "That's the real them." But the real them is the whole pattern, not the best moments. The best moments are the bait. The pattern is the truth. Why closure feels impossible. Closure requires an ending, a clear stop. Intermittent reinforcement refuses to end cleanly. It leaves you in the middle. A random message weeks later, a sudden, "I miss you." A like on your story after silence. A call at midnight. Just enough to reopen the wound. So your mind never finishes grieving. It keeps restarting. It keeps walking the hallway of maybe. And the brain would rather suffer in maybe than accept the finality of no. Because no is an ending, and maybe is a chance. And chances are addictive. 3 vignettes. How the pattern wears different masks. Vignette 1. The late night return. You've already decided you're done. You're brushing your teeth half asleep, trying to feel proud. Then your phone vibrates. It's them. Not a long message, not clarity, not accountability. Just something small. You up? Sorry, I've been off. I was thinking about you. And suddenly, your pride evaporates. Because the message arrives at the exact moment you are about to detach. It interrupts your ending. So the story restarts. You tell yourself you won't reply fast. You tell yourself you'll be cool. But your fingers move like your body has its own plan. You reply. They answer for 5 minutes, then disappear again. And now you're awake. Not just physically, emotionally. Your heart is running. Your mind is on fire. Your sleep is gone. And you hate yourself for caring. But your body doesn't care about your hate. Your body only cares that relief just happened, and then got stolen. That is the most addictive pattern. Relief, then loss. Relief, then loss. Relief, then loss. Your brain starts chasing relief like it's medicine. Vignette 2. The friendship that feels like a test. They invite you, sometimes. They cancel, often. They act close in public. They disappear in private. You tell yourself it's normal. You tell yourself they're busy. But you keep feeling the same thing. You're not sure where you stand. And not knowing where you stand creates hunger. So you keep doing small things to earn their warmth. You laugh harder. You text first. You send memes. You show up. You carry the energy. Because every once in a while, they give you a moment of closeness that feels real. A long conversation, a confession, a "you're my favorite." A night where they act like you matter. And that night becomes proof in your mind. So you keep chasing the next proof. Vignette 3. The validation that controls your identity. A boss who sometimes praises you, sometimes ignores you, sometimes criticizes you without warning, sometimes gives you attention like you're special. You start working harder, not because you love the job, because you're trying to earn the next moment of recognition. And now you've got the same pattern in a different costume. Random reward controls behavior. The human brain does not care what the reward is. Attention is attention. Relief is relief. A payout is a payout. The mechanism is the same. Why your brain confuses anxiety with love. One of the most dangerous misconceptions is simple. If my heart races, it must be real. But the heart races for many reasons. Fear makes the heart race. Uncertainty makes the heart race. Withdrawal makes the heart race. Anticipation makes the heart race. Intermittent reinforcement turns your body into a drum. It keeps the rhythm unstable, so you keep listening. That's why people say, "I've never felt this before." Sometimes that's romance, and sometimes that's your nervous system reacting to instability. Because a stable bond is quiet. It doesn't create constant adrenaline. It doesn't keep you guessing. It doesn't turn your day into a weather forecast. So when you experience calm, it can feel flat. When you experience chaos, it can feel alive. Alive becomes addictive. Alive becomes chemistry. Alive becomes a reason to stay. But a fire alarm is also alive, and it doesn't mean the building is safe. The interrogation room. What 2 a.m. does to your thoughts. At night, your brain becomes an interrogation room. You sit across from your own memory like it's a suspect. You ask it questions until you hate yourself. What did I miss? What did I do? When did it change? Was it real? Was I just entertainment? And your mind answers with images, their smile, their voice, their warmth, their coldness, their absence. No verdict, just evidence. So you keep questioning, because the mind would rather torture itself with questions than accept an ending without explanation. That's why 2 a.m. is dangerous. It removes distractions, and your mind tries to solve emotional pain like a puzzle. But emotional pain is not a puzzle. It's a wound, and intermittent reinforcement keeps reopening it. Why you can't logic your way out. The body doesn't argue. You can understand all of this and still crave them. That's not failure. That's biology. Knowledge lives in the mind. Craving lives in the nervous system. Intermittent reinforcement trains the nervous system through repetition, and repetition is stronger than insight. So logic can whisper, "This is not healthy," while your body screams, "Just one message, just one sign, just one relief." That's why people relapse into patterns they understand, because understanding doesn't erase conditioning. Conditioning is deeper than words. The most haunting part. You start missing the pain. After enough time in the loop, your brain starts missing the pattern itself, not just the person. The waiting, the adrenaline, the checking, the sudden relief, the dramatic highs and lows. Because the highs and lows became your routine. So when the routine stops, you feel empty. And emptiness feels worse than anxiety because emptiness has no purpose. Anxiety at least gives you a task. Check, wait, hope. Emptiness gives you silence. And silence forces you to meet yourself. Some people would rather chase a random reward than sit with themselves in silence. That's what the loop trains. A final, colder truth. Intermittent reinforcement isn't a love story. It's a control story. Not always by them, often by the pattern. Because the pattern steals something quietly, your ability to trust your own calm. It makes peace feel suspicious. It makes consistency feel fake. It makes stability feel like the calm before abandonment. So you keep returning to the only thing that feels familiar: uncertainty. And uncertainty never loves you back. It only keeps you awake. So the next time you feel your finger move toward the screen without thinking, understand what that movement really is. Not destiny, not soulmates, not "I can't explain it." It's conditioning. A brain trained to chase a random reward. And once you see that, the obsession stops looking romantic. It starts looking mechanical. A lever, a machine, a payout, a crash. And in that cold clarity, the spell finally shows its true face. One last thing. The scariest part of intermittent reinforcement is that it feels personal. It feels like they're doing it to you. It feels like you are being singled out. It feels like your worth is being measured in real time. But the mechanism doesn't care who you are. It works on almost everyone. Because almost everyone has a nervous system. Almost everyone wants certainty. Almost everyone feels relief when uncertainty ends. That's why the pattern is so powerful. It turns relief into proof. It turns crumbs into miracles. It turns waiting into loyalty. So if your mind keeps returning to them in the dark, don't confuse that return with meaning. Sometimes the mind returns because it was trained to. And training is not love. Training is a schedule. Random, unfair, addictive. And once you call it what it is, you stop worshipping it like fate.